Littleman takes place in the mid-1800s following the March family, a once wealthy but now poor household. The women were left to work while their father, Mr. March, is away at war.
Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents.
I don't think it's fair that some girls get to have all the pretty things and others get nothing at all.
It's so dreadful to be poor.
We've got father and mother and each other. That's what matters most.
We don't have father right now, and we won't have him for a while since he's gone fighting in the war. I'm dying to go fight with Papa, but all I can do is stay home and knit.
Intrigued by the wealthy neighbors beside them, Joe March decides to befriend the younger boy next door, Lori Lawrence.
You're that boy from next door, aren't you?
Yes, and you're one of the March girls. Joe, right? I hear you guys calling to each other from my window.
Sorry for being too loud.
No, I don't mind. I'm actually quite jealous of your happy home. All I have is my grandfather.
Don't you have any friends?
No, only my tutor, Mr. Brooke.
Well, now you have me, and you're allowed over anytime. I'm sure Marnie won't mind.
From then on, Lori became a frequent resident to the March household, and both families drew closer.
What's your future castle like, Lori? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. I'd like to live in a big house full of splendid people and not have to worry about money or dirty dresses. I'd love to live in Germany and be surrounded by all sorts of music and to be able to play all day.
My castle would be full of amazing art on every wall, and I'd be famous and everyone would love them.
All I want is to live with Meg, Amy, Joe, Marmee, and father as one big happy family.
Beth, that's the same as we have now. You need to think bigger. I would have a stable full of horses and piles on piles of books, and my works would be as famous as Lori's music. And similar to Beth, I would be able to live with you all just as now.
However, Joe's castle was doomed for disaster as the eldest sister, Meg, fell in love with Lori's tutor, Mr. Brooke, and despite Joe's prayers to remain a family forever, Meg becomes engaged. Suddenly, one day, a letter arrives to the March household announcing that their father is ill and that Mrs. March must come quickly. However, tragedy strikes while their mother is away. Beth also falls ill.
Oh, Beth, we should have helped you take care of the neighbors. You've fallen so ill. I wish Marmee was here to help us. Hang on, Beth. She'll be back soon.
Upon returning home, her mother's presence seems to draw Beth back into good health. As the girls adjust to social norms, they come across bitter consequences and rewards. For example, because of Joe's sharp tongue, she loses a chance to travel overseas, and Amy takes her place.
Lori, please don't do this.
Why won't you allow me? You know how I feel. I cannot keep this any longer.
Teddy, my boy, you are my dearest friend. I cannot love you like that.
If you love me, you can marry me. I could make you happy.
We're both too hard-headed for each other. You'd be better off with another girl. I don't even plan to marry anyway, you know that.
You'll regret this, Joe.
Feeling that she had lost her closest friend and finding little to do around the house, Joe leaves for a job in New York during the winter. However, when Joe returns to New York a few months later, she is struck by the decaying image of her sister.
You know, don't you, Joe? Marmee and father cannot tell, but you noticed, haven't you?
Oh, Beth, tell me it isn't so.
I've known for a while that I was fading. I do not want to leave you all. I'm so sorry.
With the death of Beth, Joe's castle had all but been forcibly collapsed. On the other side of the world, a heartbroken Lori travels overseas, where he meets up with a more mature Amy. They soon fall in love with each other and decide to get married. A few months later, the newly wedded couple return home. It's then Lori and Joe make amends with each other, but their relationship never returns to its original purity. However, despite the joy of having her family back home, Joe becomes depressed. Seeing how happy her sisters are being married makes her feel lonely, and she wishes for more. Much to her benefit, an older gentleman Joe had met in New York had fallen in love with her, and Joe decides to marry him. In the end, Jo decides to make a home for wayward boys and even has a few children of her own.
Oh, I'm so happy with how my life turned out. I know I gave up writing, but my castle before was so selfish.
I agree. I learned that I lack talent to be famous, but now I make my art for the people I cherish and I'm better for it.
No amount of money or fancy accessories could have outdone this amount of happiness. Who knew life could be so great?